G'day YouTube, Warbles on a lot here. Today here in Oz, it's the 30th of April. Yesterday in Oz, it was the 29th of April. Today, on the Atlantic side of the globe, it is still the 29th of April. And seeing as all of this started out on the other side of the world, I'm making my 250th anniversary video today to synchronise with the other side of the world. Referring briefly to my own work, in the year of 1768, a wooden sailing ship set forth from frozen little England in the hemisphere of the north, under the command of a navigator by the name of Jimmy Cook, commissioned by his king to go out and have a look at the sky in far Tahiti in the middle of the day, seeking signs of planet Vulcan, and to find it if he may. For when Venus went before the sun in 1769 in June, this planet Vulcan might be visible, half the mass of our Earth's moon. Such mass back then was thought to be between the sun and Mercury, for Mercury's orbit was perturbed by that much mass's gravity. At least by the laws of Newton, and that was how they thought, those astronomers with Jimmy Cook. So mass was what they sought. But on the day, as it turned out, they saw a Vulcan, not a sign. It seemed to them that they had gone and wasted all their time. It seemed to them that they had gone and wasted all their time. Tahiti. So they set their sails for home, tracking south a bit from west. Found there a great big dry old continent, and as a sort of second best, they claimed that was theirs, to take for the English king, made up for lack of seeing Vulcan and softened failure's bitter sting. And that perhaps is maybe why you still may see there, flapping in the sky, its symbolism sewn there in bits of coloured rag, Cook's expedition's object, portrayed on Australia's flag. English Jacks gone a wandering on the orders of their boss, searching for a planet that wasn't there in the sky of the Southern Cross. But what became of Vulcan then? A question you might ask. In 1912, young Einstein took up that very task. With his relativity equation, is E equals mc square. Take the gravitational field of the sun, he said, and write it over there. Now divide that by light speed squared, said he, and answer in kilograms. Albert, that's exactly the mass of Vulcan. Well, golly gosh and damn. Einstein replied, that's right, and it's all true too. A secondary mass effect is what it is. The joke's on all of you, because for a century and a half all the astronomers had been and gone, chasing eclipses and staring at the burning edge of the sun, fixated on mass as a cause of gravity, the pull of which was clear to see, but there wasn't a mass there at all, just concentrated energy. Okay, right, so you got that clear in your head? Something like 255 years ago, the King of England said to this bloke, you have to go out to Tahiti, take an astronomer royal, Neville Maskelyne, out there to Tahiti in time to be there to observe the transit of Venus across the sun in 1769 in June. On your way back, they said, on your way home, Jimmy, draw us some lovely new maps. See if you can find Terra Australis and claim it for us. And so it turned out that after some pretty interesting orgies at Tahiti, where Captain Cook was apparently the only one of his entire boatload who did not partake of the hospitality offered by the Tahitians. After that, when he got to New Zealand, he had occasion to, he and his crew, they shot and killed about 9 Maoris. the various misunderstandings, shall we say. 250 years and 10 days ago, he sighted the coast of Australia on the 19th of April, and then he spent 10 days slowly coast crawling until he reached Botany Bay. And the European version is that as he was coming into Botany Bay, he offloaded a longboat, a rowboat, and made his way to the beach at Kurnell, and there were two Australian Aborigines standing on the top of a sandhill, and they were carrying spears and shields. And the leader yelled, "Wara! Wara! Wa! Wara!" and repeated that a few times. And all of the people on the Endeavour, Captain Cook and all of his crew and his associated officers and scientists, they all assumed that wara, wara, wa, wara meant go away, don't come here. However, about a month ago, I heard a descendant of the people who were on the shore when they first saw Captain Cook show up, and he said that his people regarded it as a floating island covered by low clouds. And he said the people had been watching this boat sail northward up the coast, sending runners ahead, alerting the successive tribes to keep an eye out for it. And they said that there were giant possums running up and down the trees on this floating island. And that's apparently supposed to be because the sailors had ponytails. And wara means dead. And in Australia, white is the colour of death, the colour of bleached bones. So when the man was yelling, "Wara, wara," it was dead, dead. Wa, wara. Well, a month ago, the bloke I heard on the radio said that he was saying, "They're all dead. Dead, dead, they're all dead," because they were white. They were the spirits of the ancestors come down out of the low cloud and they were returning to the earth. That's what he was yelling out. This fella, this Captain Cook, he had different ideas. He thought they were saying go away. So he got a brown bess musket, .577 of an inch calibre, and he fired a lead ball into the sand beside the two Aborigines. And he pulled out his stick and he made thunder and lightning and flames come out of it, and the sand jumped up in the air and the two Aborigines stood there. So he fired again. And some accounts say he fired into the ground on the other side. Some accounts say he put a hole in the shield of one of them, which caused that bloke to drop the shield and run away. But one of them stayed there, still yelling to the people, hiding in the hollow behind the sand dune, dead, dead, they're all dead. Wara, wara, wa, wara. So Cook got another brown bess musket, loaded with birdshot, and he fired it straight at the Aborigine and hit him below the shield and above the shield, and that caused him to run away. And there's a shield in the English Museum with a lead musket ball hole in the shield to prove the story. Dead, dead, they're all dead. That's how it come to be that this man fired the first 3 shots which initiated Australia's frontier war. Other people would like to give the date of January 26, 1788, when the first fleet showed up to literally invade and colonise and occupy Australia with military force. Other people would say that no, it was in 1812 when Governor Macquarie launched a punitive expedition to go out and hunt Aborigines down and cut their heads off and hang their heads in a tree as a demonstration of the superiority of white European civilization. But I say that the 29th of April, that's the day we should commemorate Invasion Day, because that's the day the frontier war started. That's the day the first firearms were discharged against Australians who were just standing there looking at what was going on and telling the people behind them, it's the dead. They've come back to life. Here they are. Wada, wada, wa, wada. And he shot them for it. Captain Cook shot him for telling the truth. And with his maps and his charts, he dutifully showed the way for the European colonists to come and steal Australia. And a bunch of other places too, but Australia, this is the anniversary of the day that he shot this place up. But happily enough, on his third expedition, the people at Tahiti remembered him, and they remembered what he was good for and what he was bad for. And then he went to Hawaii and they killed him and cut him up into 17 pieces and wrapped the pieces in palm leaves and distributed them around the island so everybody could share in the feast. And that was what finally became of him. But anyway, today's the day, 250 years ago. Or yesterday was the day, depending on which side of the international date line you're at. The day Captain James Cook fired the first 3 shots in Australia's frontier war. So, fly the flag, Australia. Fly the flag. Lest we forget, somewhere between 60,000 and 80,000 Australians died defending their homeland from the European colonists. And since they've come here, they've been behaving like the advice on the t-shirt. Australia, drive it like you stole it. Because we fucking did. Warbles on a lot to YouTube. Ciao.